for help for your food addiction and you don't know where to start? Welcome to the series, The Food Addiction Frontlines, where we uncover the expertise and services available for overcoming food addiction. I'm Dr. Vera Tarman, an addiction physician specializing in sugar and ultra-processed food addiction. In each 15-minute episode, we'll meet leading experts and organizations making a difference in this field. They will share their journey, their training, and the unique services they provide so that you can find the treatment that is best for you. Today, we speak with Michael Prager of the Food Addiction Institute. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you.
All right. So what inspired you to work in the field of food addiction?
I'm a food addict. I'm a food addict in recovery between 35 and 40 years, maintaining a 150-pound loss. Before I got into recovery, I lost large amounts of weight, more than 100 pounds, more than once. But I always gained it back until I became aware that food addiction existed and that it might pertain to me. And what happened was, once I understood that the problem might be more than I'm a bad person who has no willpower, to something that could be something that was bigger, then I had a different set of treatments I could sample to see if they would work for me. Yeah. Ever since then, I've wanted to help other people who were in the same position or who are still in the same position that I was in.
And what's your role in the Food Addiction Institute? And then can you tell us a little bit about its history and its evolution until now?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I'm the chairman of the Food Addiction Institute. I'm also one of the founders, but the founder was Phil Wardell. And I met Phil as a patient client, and we became colleagues and friends, had many connections. And when he wanted to start the Food Addiction Institute, he asked a bunch of people to come and help him. And I was one of them. And so we met in a hotel ballroom or whatever in Florida, and we started to design what we wanted this institution to be. There were maybe a dozen people in the room. So we've been around since 2005, and we haven't always been clear about what we want to do. We're clear now, and we're working to do it.
Okay, and it's evolved since you've taken over, which was a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, about that. Actually, what happened was Phil died. I miss him very much. But Phil died in September 23. There was a memorial service a couple of months later. And I went, and at that time, I connected with some people that I had known along the way, and I had the thought, who's going to carry on for Phil? And I don't mean to say by any means that I'm the only one who could do it, but I also felt, if not me, who? So I got back involved.
Tell us what you've done with the program. What are some of the services that it provides or will provide? I believe that the actual website is about to go live.
It actually is available now. We call it a soft opening. There's still a few more things we want to do with it, but it's available now, and it's foodaddictioninstitute.org. Right now, one of the things we need to fix is that www.foodaddictioninstitute.org goes to our old site. So we're working on that. But anyway, we are the world's most comprehensive site for information about food addiction-informed nutritionists and other treatment options. We recommend books and other media on our topic. We share news and perspective through our newsletter, our social media, and through emails. We share news of our partners' work, such as this podcast and others. We've compiled a history of food addiction. Did you know that the first mention in academic literature goes back to 1956? So that's 80 years that food addiction has been burgeoning as an idea. If you think of it as a continuum from nobody's ever heard of food addiction to it is accepted as a diagnosis, I would say we're way over here. And that's one of the things that we're trying to hasten, is to get an official diagnosis so that health professionals have to learn more about it, and so that insurers have to help people who want treatment one way or another with the expense of it. So that's our major goal, is to have food addiction recognized as a diagnosable illness.
What is unique about the Food Addiction Institute in comparison to other venues?
What sets our approach to food addiction treatment apart is that we're convinced that those with food addiction can have many different issues around food. They almost certainly do. what defines food addicts from other problem eaters is we have a biochemical sensitivity to certain foods. Now, it's not like alcohol, where all alcohol for alcoholics is off limits, but different foods. I abstain from refined sugar and from refined grain, which is otherwise known as flour. But I abstain from some other things. For example, I won't go through the whole thing, from dried fruit, which is fruit, but I find that in the simple processing between fruit off a tree and dried fruit, it gets too much sugar. And I react to the amount of sugar in my bloodstream, in part because I've taken it all out, all refined sugar. And if you think of it, fruit juice and dried fruit are refined sugars. Not as refined as much as, say, running a stalk of sugar cane through a press and squeezing out the juice. It's not as much as that, but it's a continuum. And so I just want to say, there are many reasons people overeat. Not everybody who overeats is a food addict. Really, not everybody who undereats or who purges is a food addict, but some of them are. Whatever problem somebody has, if with the food environment, ultra-processed foods, we think those exist. We're totally in line with that. But in addition, we also deal with this biochemical sensitivity. And we think there's no way around that.
Okay. You promote abstinence or not necessarily?
Absolutely. For a while at the beginning, when I rejoined the Institute, one of the conversations we had was, what is it that links us together, that makes us different from all the people who want to help through any number of methods to help people with food addiction? And when I say we have a biochemical sensitivity to certain foods, I'm making the direct one-to-one comparison to alcohol for alcoholics or drugs to drug addicts. It's not similar, it's the same thing. Of the things that do not work with my biochemistry, of the things that don't agree with my biochemistry, I am far better off not to try to moderate, not to try to cut down, but to eliminate them from what I put into my body. I find that I have a multi-dimensional problem. Part of it is physical, and when I put these things in my body, they become the most important problem I have. And when I can abstain from them, then it becomes the least important problem until I put them into my body again. And then it's not a question of I'm a good person or I don't have willpower. The substances are in my body and they make me act irrationally, and they make me act in ways that I cannot explain, and that often without considerable help through community and through treatment that I can't overcome by myself.
Who would the Food Addiction Institute not be useful for?
There are a lot of problem eaters. There are somebody who just has bad habits. Let's take that example. They like their desserts with every meal. Maybe they're a foodie or whatever. These are not bad people. I'm not trying to fix them or change them at all. If they decide that those choices they've made lead to too much body weight, it's not the only thing by any means, but some outcome that they don't like, and they can decide, I'm not going to do that anymore, I'm going to moderate that, then God bless them. They can do that. I'm not saying they don't need help as well, but if they decide I'm not going to do that anymore and that works, we would by definition say they're not food addicts, because addicts decide often, I'm not going to do that anymore. You can understand it better. The drunk who wakes up the next morning and his head hurts and his mouth is all cotton mouth and he remembers what he did and he thinks, oh, I'm never going to do that again. I swear I'm never. And then the next night they do it again. That's somebody who is not in complete control of their own actions because of the substances that they're putting in their body and the particular biochemistry that they have.
Yeah.
If someone has food addiction, then they have this biochemical problem, and resolving to do something or deciding I'm going to be a better person, that's actually helpful, but it's not going to resolve it.
If somebody wanted to find a diet, could they find like a food plan?
We have an article on our new website about the value of food plans. And we have information about what we think are the obvious ones. Sugar and flour are two of them. But we find that the food environment is too varied one quote unquote, really heavy air quotes, that advantage that alcoholics have is that all or nothing, no alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay. We can't say that. Obviously, food addicts have to eat. So we have to become a little more sophisticated in what we do eat and what we don't eat. We can certainly say that the more processed something is, the more likely it is to be unhealthy. I eat pretty simply. I'm very happy with what I eat, but I eat pretty simply. And I find that addresses a large part of my problem. But still, there are things that other people would say, yeah, that's a good part of a healthy diet that I wouldn't eat. And I'm really happy that I don't eat. So we have guidance about how to think about it, but there is no one food plan for food addicts. So we don't espouse one.
But if somebody did want to come on the website, they could find somebody to help them.
We have information that will help people decide what they should do. We'll definitely leave them better off, but still, we don't tell people what to eat.
Anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to showcase about the Food Addiction Institute?
We support the two efforts to alter diagnostic manuals, one run by the World Health Organization and one run by the American Psychiatric Association, to have a diagnosis that food is a substance use disorder. That is our biggest goal. We think that once that happens, there will be an explosion of interest among people, just plain folks, but also medical professionals who want to know food addiction. It's most likely, almost certainly, to be ultra-processed food addiction that gets in first. And we support that. We don't think it ends there, but it's just an immensely important step along the way.
Yeah.
Once this happens, people will come looking for information. And so we're asking people to support us. If you, listening, think that food addiction is real, that there are undiagnosed food addicts who have not being helped because they don't even know that food addiction exists, and they don't know what they would do if they became aware that it exists, that's what we do, is we're there to help those people. So if you believe in those things, we'd like you to help support us. We have a partnership program. Vera is a partner. We have, I don't know, half a dozen others. We're very grateful for your support. And essentially, we help get the word out about what our partners are doing, and they help us financially so that we can continue doing that. If you want to help fight food addiction, and I don't think it's exaggeration to say tens of millions undiagnosed food addicts in the world, we're the ones. Well, there are other groups who are doing a lot too. So I don't want to say we're the most, but we're one of the people most involved in that. And we'd like your help so we can continue our work. Go to our website and find how to donate. We do seek financial support, but it's not the only way you can help us. If you have expertise and you'd like to be a consultant or a volunteer, if you'd like to do some writing for us, if you'd like to help us gather, we have a bunch of testimonials, brief descriptions by food addicts about what it's like for them and what happened when they started getting help. If you'd like to do one of those, or if you'd like to help us get other people to give us one of those videos, we will accept help from our community in any way we can.
Give us your details again about how people can get in contact with you.
Just go to foodaddictioninstitute.org. There's how to contact us, and there's who our board of directors is.
Okay, great. Any last words of hope to leave the listeners?
I think that thing I said before, that in the continuum, when I started in advocacy in the 90s, nobody even heard of food addiction. Those who heard about it thought it was bull. So we've gone from there to there are active efforts for both the World Health Organization and the American Psychiatric Association. And I think we're close. Maybe not tomorrow, but I think we are close. We started out this far, and now we're this far. We are making progress, and we are almost there. That's pretty hopeful, no?
It is. All right. Thank you so much, Michael Prager, for your talk about the Food Addiction Institute.
You bet. Thank you for the opportunity.
Big sugar is the enemy, corrupting the minds of the teens, expelling you not to foresee. Your body's your temple, your mind is your key to a life tapped into happiness. Have